Okay, in these two questions we've got to make x the subject. That means we've got to do rearranging, and when we've finished our rearranging we'll have x on its own on one side of the equation. So my answer is going to be x equals, and then the other side is going to have other letters in it. In this case it's going to have y. This is going to have a's, b's and c's in it. So this is like solving an equation, but the answer isn't a number, it's just a chunk of algebra with other letters in. So what steps do I need to go through? This is where we have to strip away the outside layers, and the first thing we get rid of, if we can, is fractions. So how do I get rid of the fraction here? Well, on the bottom I've got a y, that's division by y, so I'm going to multiply both sides by y. So if I multiply this side by y, I'm undoing the division by y, so this is 3 brackets x plus 5. Now on the other side, if I've multiplied this side by y, I've got to multiply the other side by y, so I'm going to get y times y, that's y squared. Okay, what's the next layer I've got to remove here? Well, I've got brackets. Outside that bracket I've got a 3, which is times 3. I have to get rid of that by dividing by 3. So dividing both sides by 3, I'm going to get x plus 5 equals, I'm going to have y squared, and I need to divide that by, well, I'm dividing both sides by 3, so I divide it by 3. And then finally, I need to make this plus 5 go away. In fact, I can go straight to this line. So to get to the last line, I need to take away the 5. The plus 5 is what I want to make go away. So take away 5 from this side, I get x. Take away 5 from the other side, well, it was y cubed, y squared over 3. Not y cubed, y squared. And I'm taking away 5, so I need to do minus 5. Notice that that is not part of the fraction. Okay, I could try and express this as one fraction, but you know what? I don't have to. This is a perfectly decent answer to the question. Okay. Alright, and on to the second one. Now this looks a bit harder because x appears here and x also appears here. So there isn't just one x in the equation, but I've got to end up with just one x being the subject of the formula. So how am I going to do that? Well, it's linked with the previous questions on this page. Okay, this actually factorizes because this can be divided by x. This also can be divided by x, which means I can write this as a bracket with an x outside the bracket. Okay, still going to equal c on the other side. So now the question is, what do I need to put into this bracket so that this is algebraically the same as ax plus bx? Well, one term at a time. If I've got an x here, what do I need to put here that will make the ax term? Well, x times a does equal a times x. So ax can be made by putting an a here. Then I need another term, it's plus something else to make a bx. Well, I've got the x, so it must be the b. So x times a plus b is the same thing as ax plus bx. And now it's just a one-step process to go to the answer. Okay, if I want x on its own, I've made this bracket of a plus b go away. How have I done that? Well, this is x times a plus b, so I must be dividing by the bracket of a plus b to get my final line, which will be the answer. So this c here has also got to be divided by the bracket of a plus b. And that's my answer. You don't, strictly speaking, need those brackets on the bottom, but they're perfectly correct, and that's a perfectly correct answer. So that's the last question in set 1. So hopefully now you feel fairly confident with all of set 1. What I'd encourage you to do is try the questions from set 2. Quite a lot of them are similar to the ones we've just looked at. See how many you can do on your own. Okay, refer back to some of the videos if you need, if you've forgotten what to do. Okay, and then if you're stuck on them, or if you just want to check your answers, watch the videos for all the questions in set 2. Review all of this, because this is the kind of thing that we need you to be good at when you come to do your assessment, just to make sure that you've got the algebra skills that you need for your maths course.